students. University to introduce a controlling anxiety module to prepare students for world of work. A university for trainee lawyers is to introduce a controlling anxiety module in an attempt to prepare students for the world of work. BPP University Law School will also offer courses on mindfulness on the go and managing your sleep from the end of the month. The private university, which has branches in London, Bristol, Cambridge, Birmingham, Leeds, and Manchester, prides itself on creating graduates who are career-ready. It says that students leave the university not just armed with academic theory, but also the context, skills, and behaviors you need to succeed. Joanne Pugh, Director of Program Design and Development at BPP Law School, said the new courses are part of the series of initiatives to boost well-being and mental health services at the university. It follows research published earlier this year by the Junior Lawyers Division at the Law Society, which showed that stress and mental health issues among young lawyers were on the rise. Almost half, 48%, said that they had experienced poor mental health, a 10% increase from the year before. Meanwhile, 93% of respondents said they felt stressed, with almost a quarter of them feeling severely or extremely stressed. Pugh said, "It wasn't that long ago when mental well-being in law was barely discussed. The profession has moved on and all law schools must also do the same. Our new programs will introduce students to self-reflection, well-being, and emotional intelligence. Strategies for good mental wellness will be embedded within all our legal education and training to help prepare and support students for both study and their later working lives." Bruises for the gullible or miracle recovery aid. I've put cupping to the test.
Bruises for the gullible or miracle recovery aid. Miracle recovery aid. I put cupping to test. Bruises for the gullible or miracle recovery aid. I put cupping to the test.
You might remember cupping from the 2016 Olympics, when the U.S. swimming team, including its gold-hoarding superstar Michael Phelps, were pictured with telltale purple blotches on their backs, as if they'd been given meticulously arranged love bites by a giant squid.
You might remember cupping from the 2016 Olympics when the U.S. swimming team, including its gold-hoarding superstar Michael Phelps, were pictured with telltale purple blotches on their backs, as if they'd been given meticulously arranged love bite by the giant squid. You might remember cupping from the 2016 Olympics when the U.S. swimming team, including its gold-hardened superstar Michael Phelps, were pictured with telltale purple blotches on their backs, as if they'd been given meticulously arranged love bites by a giant squid.
The marks were created by setting small glass cups on the skin and using either heat or a vacuum pump to suck the surface flesh away from the muscles below.
The marks are created by setting small glass cups on the skin and using either heat or a vacuum pump to suck the surface flesh away from the muscles below. The marks are created by setting small glass cups on the skin and using either heated or a vacuum pump to suck the surface flesh away from the muscles below.
Why do it? According to its fans and practitioners, cupping aids recovery and reduces inflammation after exercise by improving blood flow and purging toxins, whatever they are.
Why do it? According to its fans and practitioners, cupping aids recovery and reduces inflammations after exercise by improving blood flow and purging toxins, whatever they are. Why do it? According to its fans and practitioners, cupping aids recovery and reduces inflammation after exercise by improving blood flow and purging toxins, whatever they are.
On a Wednesday, I found myself in a small room in an acupuncture clinic in London, trying to put cupping to the test.
On Wednesday, I found myself in a small room in an acupuncture clinic in London, tried to put cupping to the test. On Wednesday, I found myself in a small room in an acupuncture clinic in London, tried to put cupping to the test.
Athletes appear to favor the method involving vacuum pumps. I was here to try fire cupping, in which a ball of alcohol-soaked cotton wool is set alight and placed under a small glass cup.
While Olympic athletes appear to favor the method involving vacuum pumps, I was here to try fire cupping, in which a ball of alcohol-soaked cotton wool is set alight and placed under a small glass cup. While Olympic athletes appear to favor the method involving vacuum pump, I was here to try fire cupping, in which a ball of alcohol-soaked cotton wool is set alight and placed under a small glass cup. While Olympic athletes appear to favor the method involving vacuum pump, I was here to try fire cupping, in which a ball of alcohol-soaked cotton wool is set alight and placed under a small glass cup.
It felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. My skin hurtled into the...
It felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. It felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. It felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. Proprietor. My skin hurtled into the little heated hemispheres. It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper had it been done to a more sensitive part of my body. It felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. My skin hurtled into the little heated hemisphere. It wasn't painful, though.
Little heated hemispheres. It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharp. Slammed a couple of dwarf-sized plungers onto the small of my back. My skin hurtled into the little heated hemispheres. It wasn't...
My skin hurtled into the little heated hemispheres. My skin hurtled into the little heated hemispheres. It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper.
Painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper had it been done to a more sensitive part of my body.
It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper had it been done to a more sensitive part of my body. It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper that had it been done to a more sensitive part of my body.
After being cupped, I felt really relaxed, so I asked the proprietor about the procedure I'd just undergone. Yes, there is no scientific evidence, she said, unpromisingly, but people find it effective.
After being cupped, I felt really relaxed, so I asked the proprietor about the procedure I'd just undergone. Yes, there is no scientific evidence, she said unpromisingly, but people find it effective. Yes, there's no scientific evidence, she said unpromisingly. But people find it effective. Bruises for the gullible or miracle recovery aid. I put cupping to the test. You might remember cupping from the 2016 Olympics when the U.S. swimming team, including its gold holding superstar Michael Phelps, were pictured with telltale purple blotches on their back. As if they'd been given meticulously arranged love bites by a giant squid. The marks are created by setting small glass cups on the skin and using either heat or a vacuum pump to suck the surface flesh away from the muscles below. Why do it? According to its fans and practitioners, cupping aids recovery and reduces inflammation after exercise by improving blood flow and purging toxin, whatever they are. On Wednesday, I found myself in a small room in an acupuncture clinic in London, trying to put cupping to the test. While Olympic athletes appear to favor the method involving vacuum pump, I was here to try fire cupping, in which a ball of alcohol-soaked cotton wool is set alight and placed under a small glass cup. I felt as though the proprietor had slammed a couple had slammed a couple of dove-sized plungers onto the small of my back. My skin hurtled into the little heated hemisphere. It wasn't painful, though it might have felt a bit sharper had it been done to a more sensitive part of my body. After being cupped, I felt really relaxed, so I asked the proprietor about the procedure I'd just undergone. Yes, there is no scientific evidence, she said unpromisingly, but people find it effective.
Bruises for the gullible or miracle recovery aid. I put cupping to the test. You might remember cupping from the 2016 Olympics when the U.S. swimming team, including its gold holding superstar Michael Phelps, were pictured with telltale purple blotches on their backs, as if they'd been given meticulously arranged love bite by a giant squid. The marks are created by setting small glass cups on the skin and using either heated or a vacuum pump to suck the surface flesh away from the muscles below.
Why do it?
According to its fans and practitioners, cupping aids recovery and reduces inflammation after exercise by improving blood flow and purging toxins, whatever they are.
On a Wednesday,
On
I
Wednesday, I
found
found myself in a small room in an acupuncture clinic
trying
in
to put
London,
cupping
trying
to
to
the test.
cup in
While
tests,
Olympic
while
athletes
Olympic
appear to
athletes
favor the
appear to
method
favor the
involving
method
vacuum
involving
pumps,
vacuum
I was
pumps.
here to try
I
flower
was here
cupping,
to
in
try
which a
flower
ball of
cupping, in
alcohol-soaked
which a
cotton
ball of
wool
alcohol
is set
soaked
alight
cotton
and
wool
placed under a
is set
small glass
alight
cup.
and placed on
It
the
felt
small
as
glass
though the
cup.
proprietor
It
had
felt as
slammed
though
a
the
couple of dwarf-sized plungers
proprietor had slammed a couple of dove-sized plungers onto the small of my back.
onto the small of my back. My
My
skin
skin
hurtled
hurtled
into the little heated hemispheres.
It
It
wasn't
might have
painful,
felt
though
a bit
it might have
sharper had it been
felt
done to a more
bit
sensitive part
sharper
of my
had it
body.
been done to a more
After
sensitive
being
part of my
cupped, I
body.
felt really
After being
relaxed,
cupped,
so I
I
asked the
felt
proprietor
really
about the
relaxed, so
procedure
I
I'd
asked
just
the
undergone.
proprietor
Yes, there
about
is
the
no
procedure I
scientific
just
evidence.
undergone. Yes, there's no scientific evidence, she said unpromisingly, but people find it effective. 喂。哦，行，好。你几点回来啊？
什么？咋了？
你妈要回来吃饭。Google to shame websites which load slowly. Google could soon call out websites that load slowly by displaying a badge of shame within its Chrome web browser. It will consider historical load latencies first, and later may expand to a single
that a page will load slowly based on the user's device and network conditions. The criteria will become increasingly stringent over time, Google said. Google Chrome's team is
stringent. Google's Chrome team is collaborating with other Google teams,
considering using badges to rate the expected quality of the user experience. The tech giant said it believes the web can do better and is considering a badge system to encourage developers to up their game when building websites.
Poorly built
websites, or those using old practices, can have an impact on website loading speeds, irrespective of the user's broadband connection. The company will do this by looking at how long it takes websites to load historically. Further along, we may expand this to include identifying when a page is likely to be slow for a user based on their device and network conditions, the firm said. We are being very mindful with our approach to setting the bar for what is considered a good user experience, and hope to land on something that is practically achievable by all developers. Google is looking into various ways of achieving this, such as a splash screen, which appears when the page is loading, warning people that the page usually loads slow. Meanwhile, fast websites would feature a green progress indicator. The company is urging web developers not to wait to optimize your site, offering a number of resources to help improve their loading speeds. Google to shame websites which load slowly. Google could soon call out websites that load slowly by displaying a badge of shame within its Chrome web browser. It will consider historical load latencies first, and later may expand to signal the likelihood that a page will load slowly based on the user's device and network conditions. The criteria will become increasingly stringent over time, Google said. Google Chrome's team is collaborating with other Google teams, considering using badges to rate the expected quality of the user experience.
Badges to rate the expected quality of the user experience.
The tech giant said it believes the web can do better and is considering a badge system to encourage developers to up their game when building websites. Poorly built websites or those using old practices can have an impact on website loading speeds irrespective of the user broadband connection. The company will do this by looking at how long it takes websites to load historically. Further along, we may expand this to include identifying when the page is likely to be slow for your user based on their device and network conditions, the firm said. We are being very mindful with our approach to setting the bar for what is considered a good user experience, and hope to land on something that is practically achievable by all developers. Google is looking into various ways of achieving this, such as a splash screen, which appears when the page is loading, warning people that the page usually loads slow. Meanwhile, fast websites would feature a green progress indicator. The company is urging web developers not to wait to optimize your site, offering a number of resources to help improve their loading speeds. Google to shame websites which load slowly. Google could soon call out websites that load slowly by displaying a badge of shame within its Chrome web browser. It will consider historical load latencies first, and later may expand to signal the likelihood that the page will load slowly based on the user device and network conditions. The criteria will become increasingly stringent over time, Google said. Google's Chrome team is collaborating with other Google teams, considering using badges to rate the expected quality of the user experience. The tech giant said it believes the web can do better, and is considering a badge system to encourage developers to up their game when building websites. Poorly built websites or those using old practices can have an impact on website loading speeds, irrespective of users' broadband connection. The company will do this by looking at how long it takes websites to load historical. Further along, we may expand this to include identifying when a page is likely to be slow for a user based on their device and network conditions, the firm said. We are being very mindful with our approach to setting the bar for what is considered a good user experience, and hope to land on something that is practically achievable by all developers. Google is looking into various ways of achieving this, such as splash screen, which appears when the page is loading, warning people that the page usually loads slow. Meanwhile, fast websites would feature a green progress indicator. The company is urging web developers not to wait to optimize your site, offering a number of resources to help improve their loading speed.